Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Creative New Tech Limited's Q2 and half-year FY24 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company, which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on the date of this call. These statements are not the guarantee of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Ketan Patel, Chairman and Managing Director, Creative New Tech Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Creative New Tech Limited's earnings conference call for the second quarter and half-year ended September 30th, 2023. I would like to start by thanking you all for taking the time to join us today. On the call with me are Mr. Vijay Kanvinde, our CFO, and Mr. Vijay Advani, our whole-time director, and S. Factors, our investor relations team. The company as a whole has continued on its upward trajectory through this period, reflecting the sustainable nature of our growth strategy. Before getting into the financial highlights of this quarter, let me share some key recent developments during the quarter. Firstly, Creative New Tech's Hong Kong subsidiary, Secure Connection Limited, entered into an agreement with the UAE-based Trigon LLC. Trigon is a part of the prestigious Dubai-based Al Ghurair Group with a strength of 150 plus sales and marketing and support staff. As part of this collaboration, Trigon LLC would act as the official distributor of Honeywell products in the UAE, thereby expanding Creative's reach in the region. Honeywell, renowned for quality and innovation, will now reach a wider audience in the UAE through this partnership, helping us capitalize on the opportunities in the emerging region. Earlier in July, we had launched a new range of Honeywell soundbars. More recently, we ran a campaign to spread awareness about Honeywell air purifier, especially in Mumbai after the city's air quality dropped significantly. Our journey with Honeywell has come a long way, and today we are deeply entrenched with the brand to represent its across product categories in the APAC and the GCC region via our licensing agreement. On the distribution front, we continue to curate our portfolio with niche hand-picked brands, which are leaders in the field and have tremendous scope for penetration and mass adoption. One of the recent agreements is with the UK-based company Ruwa. This is a premium audio entertainment company which is popular among professionals and enthusiasts alike. We are thrilled to introduce Ruwa's high-end audio products in the India market and hope to be the catalyst in the penetration of this region. Our collaboration with Ruwa exemplifies our strategy to identify under-penetrated premium brands targeted at specific demographics where there is substantial scope of growth. The technology and the consumer electronic landscape is evolving rapidly. Creative New Tech has thrived by aligning with the changing trends, identifying high-potential global brands, and there being agile in our operations. As you are aware, we have a strong foothold in brand licensing with Honeywell, which is fast becoming a major contributor to our revenue. Our value addition goes beyond traditional distribution as it is evident through our marketing campaigns for Honeywell mentioned earlier. Our e-commerce platform, T-Card, also facilitates in expanding our network of partners and bring in economies of scale. By closely monitoring market developments, we build stronger connections with our customers, ensuring that we stay ahead of the curve. The confidence of our brand partners in our expertise and the quality of our service is evident from the many long-term contracts served over the years. Looking at the next half of the fiscal, we are optimistic about growth in all the four segments: FMEG, FMSG, EV and FMCG, and are poised to capture market opportunities. Now I hand it over the floor to Mr. Abhijit Kanvinde, who will take through the financial highlights for the quarter and the half year.
Thank you and good morning to you all. I will share the highlights of our consolidated financial performance, after which we would open the floor for questions. Our financials are reported as per Ind AS guidelines. Looking at consolidated Q2 FY24 results, the company reported a total income of rupees 432.81 crores, growing 32.65% year-on-year. This was driven by strong demand for brands like Samsung, Cooler Master, Honeywell, ViewSonic, and supported by improvement in EV segment. In terms of segmental performance during this quarter, the FMSG segment accounted for 14% of the revenue, FMCG accounted for 15% of the revenue, while EV comprised of 70% of the revenue. The quarterly EBITDA stood at rupees 14.99 crores as against 13.27 crores in the previous corresponding period, an increase of 12.9% year-on-year, mainly due to higher revenues. EBITDA margins for the quarter stood at 3.46%, lower by 61 basis points as compared to the corresponding quarter last year. A change in the product mix has impacted the margins. The PAT for the quarter is rupees 10.46 crores as compared to 9.1 crores in Q2 FY23, and year-on-year growth of 14.98%. EPS for the quarter is rupees 6.79. Now let's look at consolidated H1 FY24 results. The company's total income in the first half of the fiscal year stood at rupees 904.15 crores, growing 58.54% year-on-year. This was driven by strong demand for Samsung, Honeywell, Cooler Master, and ViewSonic, supported by growth in enterprise business segment. The half-yearly EBITDA stood at rupees 24.89 crores as against 20.93 crores in the previous corresponding period, an increase of 18.93% year-on-year. The EBITDA margins for the period stood at 2.75%, a decrease of 92 basis points as compared to H1 FY23. Better operational efficiencies were offset by changing product mix impacting the margins. The PAT for H1 FY24 was at rupees 16.34 crores as compared to rupees 12.71 crores in H1 FY23, and year-on-year growth of 28.60%. EPS for the first half of the year is rupees 10.52. This is all from our side now. We can now open the floor for questions.
Thank you very much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask questions may please press star and one on their touchtone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use only handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We'll take the first question from the line of Aditya Jhawar from AJ Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I have one confusion. Can you clear me that? When you say Honeywell licensing, right? So you bifurcate into 4 segments, right? In that, how do we get to know that which is coming from Honeywell licensing? It is from social branding, or how do we see that? That is my first question.
Yeah. Hi, Aditya. This is Ketan. I'll take that question. Okay. So, Honeywell itself has 4 categories. Okay. In Honeywell, our license is for air purifiers, which is kind of a lifestyle category, which gets again in our 4 categories of fast-moving social media gadgets. It gets into that category. Then Honeywell has personal audio, and it also has Bluetooth audio, or there is home audio also it has. That category is there. Third category is Honeywell has passive network cabling, which will get into our EV category. And last is they have electronic essentials, which also is again into the FMSG category. So out of the 4 categories, we bifurcate it and then put it into the respective segments which we have created in the company. I hope I could answer your question clearly.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So what is the contribution total from the Honeywell licensing for this quarter?
Okay. So this quarter it was, last quarter it was around 30 odd crores. This quarter it was around 41 odd crores. Last time the Diwali was in the month of October, so our premium, the July, August, September was the main quarter. This time the Diwali is in November, so October, November, December is the main quarter.
Yeah, great, sir. Great. I think whatever you have alluded in the last call, that we are in that trend rate only. Okay. Now my second question is related to cash flow, right? So I think our CFO has said that will be cash flow positive. But still, however we are increasing the revenue, the cash flow is going on negative. So can you explain here why? Because I think it is getting stuck in working capital. It is the nature of the business, or with scale we'll achieve working capital or operating cash flow positive. Because if you again are in negative cycle, then again when you try to grow beyond, then again you need equity or some of the other instruments. So how are we to get from internal accruals is my second question.
Absolutely on the dot. And let me take this question. Last time I had said that in this quarter we will be operationally cash positive. Okay. We were working towards that, right? If you care to see the balance sheet and if you look at other financial assets, the other financial assets have come down from 91 crores to 60 crores. Yeah. So there is a 31 crores remarkable improvement.
Right. That is, you said, for GST, right? That is one time.
Yeah. GST has come back. That's what I had promised last time. Okay. Unfortunately, what has gone wrong is the data figure is 108 crores from 67.55 crores. Yeah. There has been some collection a delay from our side, and therefore, there was a holiday of Saturday, Sunday and Monday, 30th, 1st and 2nd. The banks were closed. So most of my collection, approximately 20-25 crores has come on 3rd. Alright. Unfortunately, therefore, this has to be accounted as per the accounting norms as higher data. I am quite sure and 100% positive that we are managing our debtors well. Okay. Even for that matter, our working capital cycle, our debtor collection period, if you see, it is around 23. Okay, and my working capital cycle from 29 has gone up to 32 for a while. Okay, but this will normalize, and by this year end, we will be surely cash flow positive. Okay, we are cash flow positive. This is an aberration actually.
Aditya,
Yeah.
what I was trying to say is that if this balance sheet was made on 4th of October, we were cash positive because the balance sheet is made on a date 30th September, and the payment came 3 days because of the holiday.
It's an export thing, no? The proceeds.
So that's what it
So my last question is for this current year, if we see the run rate, right, we are clocking 1,600 odd crores. In that, still 40, I would say Honeywell licensing is our high margin business. Basically 80 crores is coming from there. But whole year, if I see, it will be roughly around 160 to 180 crores from the Honeywell business, right? And we have to scale this to 500 odd crores. Then basically PAT margins will move up because we have good margins. So for 1 to 2 years, can we scale in this Honeywell licensing 500 odd crores in the 2 years? That is my first question. And can you also throw light on 4 to 5 years perspective? This is first milestone. What are the new milestone, new benchmarks are you setting internally to our team? Thank you.
So Aditya, it's a very good question, and I will take that question and I will answer it elaborately because a lot of interest is in the companies because of the Honeywell licensee. Okay?
Yes.
There are 4 categories in which we trade. One is the air purifier category. Air purifier was not a mainstream category until last year. People would have opted to buy, people would have not opted to buy. But with the pollution and with the paper screaming and everything happening, it has now become a necessary item. That's what we feel. And looking at our sales for the last 4 days, we are already stocked out for the whole month actually, right? Every day we have been selling more than 1,700-1,800 air purifiers on Amazon, just Amazon itself. That's the case. So air purifier overall in India is a 1,200 crore category. Just India I'm talking, we have 38 countries, but India is a 1,200 crore category, which I think next year will become a 2,400 to 3,000. That would be the total market for that category. Okay. Then coming to personal audio and home audio, that's a 25,000 crore category. Then coming to the electronic essentials, that's your fast chargers, your HDMI cables, your C-type docking stuff and all. And we are in a slightly premium segment, so that whole category is close to 30,000 crores, but for us the category which matters is close to 8,000 crores. Then coming to passive networking. In the passive networking space, if you just see D-Link, who is into that passive networking space, they did close to 600 crores or 700 crores, I'm not exactly sure of the number, last year. And then there is more like CommScope and many others in that category. So that is also around the 2,500 crore category. For us, the challenge is not that the TAM is not there. With the right mix of products, the right certification, if any of this category kind of, or any 2 products kind of become hit products, across if any one country also, we see that Honeywell business by 2030 should be more than 2,500 to 3,000 crores minimum or earlier. That is, if you ask me what's going to happen by 2030, because this category itself is expanding so much, right? For us, on the last 4 to 5 years, now we have complete range in everything. So when we had found in November itself, we launched close to, and the product will be with us by 24th November. We launched almost 85 to 86 SKUs across different countries with different plug points, right? So just the spike suppressors, we launched close to 35 of them for Thailand, for Indonesia, for Singapore, for UK, all these places. So Honeywell definitely has a great scope, and just the air purifier we think will get to us our magic number of 500 crores by 2025-26. Other products are kind of a bonus. For us, the challenge is to only get the right skill set in the right geographies where we are, because each geography behaves in a very different way. Middle East likes products which are very jazzy. South East Asia, they like products which are slightly subdued, products which are straight lines. That's the case. And now we have already Southeast Asia Director Christina in place in Singapore. We have Abhilash Hamza in place in UAE. We have another person appointed joining in a day's time in Saudi Arabia. So we already have a functional office in Middle East which takes care of Middle East now. So I think it could be a quarter here and there, but I have no doubts that we'll do very well in the Honeywell business.
Great, sir. Great. So this Honeywell, whatever you said, the majority comes from air purifier right now, correct?
Air purifier, for example, was a very seasonal category till date, right? So if you go to a Reliance or Chroma, they will say that, okay, give us in November, December, take back in January. That would be their stance, right? But looking at the whole year trend, now we see that every month from January to September it is selling. And from October it becomes a peak season till February, March. And especially when Diwali is a month later, like November, when your Diwali and the crops burning all start in Delhi, and then again the construction and all that happens. That's the time it picks up. So I think Honeywell air purifier over a period of time will become like your TV. It will be a multi-room product. You may have a TV or not in your kitchen, but you will say 100% have an air purifier. And it's coming to a point where we don't have to go and explain the product to anybody. You buy the product and you are explaining to your friend why he requires air purifier. Because until last 3 years, we had this problem that how does an air purifier work? How do the air quality inside home is much worse than the air quality outside. So the air purifier just does not purify air, it also removes volatile organic compound. The fumes which comes out of your phenyl, from your paint, from the lacquer, the pad tender, your skin which you shed every day, so all that. So that's really picking up, and it's coming to a tipping point where we will see that most of everybody will have. And we are now seeing hotels offering air purifiers to whoever books the room. And you say like you wanted a hair dryer, now you can also say I want an air purifier. And since the top chains have started that, the rest of the hotels will also start doing that. So I think we're in a great business and we should see a lot of good traction in that space.
What's the contribution, sir, here? Number?
Okay, so this year I think we will beat our target, so we were thinking we would do around 16 crores of air purifier, but we should, if we get the stocks in everywhere very well, we should be around 28-29 crores.
So yearly you are talking about 28 to 29 crores from air purifier.
Only started for us in October, November, but now we think it will do very well across. Because last year the season was not good, because it rained in Delhi and then people did not buy. So we were slightly conservative about the stock. But now looking at the sales and looking at the season, how it's opened up, we have already doubled our orders everywhere. That's the case.
Okay. So you are saying this one category only will grow to 500 odd crores in the FY25 or 26?
Because if we do our job well, you are already number 3 after Philips and Xiaomi in the air purifier category currently, and a distant number 3, right? Philips does 400-500 crores just. If the market doubles, there is enough space for Philips, there is enough space for Xiaomi, there is enough space for us to be in that category. And Honeywell's brand salience with the air purification, because all HVAC use Honeywell, right? All smart buildings use Honeywell to control their air quality and other stuff. So that brand salience with Honeywell air purifier is very good. So we think that that category will get us faster to that number.
Then only from one category if we get 500 odd crores, then the other category will also, it will be much larger from the Honeywell licensing, then I can think like that in next 2 to 3 years.
Completely. So it's better always to over deliver and say a lesser number. So that's how it's panning out currently. I just told you the whole TAM about the market is so much. And if we get the right...
also on sound, if I want to may add to what Ketan is saying, size of the market in India for sound is huge. It is more than 20,000 crores, for personal audio and other things. So what we are targeting is a very, very small percentage. Okay. Till this month, okay, our basket was not complete, but by November 24th, we would have added a lot of sound and new over-the-year products and TWAs to our portfolio, which are very, very competitive in price and things like that. So, it would be easier for my team to go with the full basket to the market, and that would help us jig our numbers.
Okay, sir. So last question I have, I'll go back in the queue.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. I would request you to kindly reach me.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
We'll take the next question from the line of Man Ashar from MA Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
Congratulations on a good set of numbers and thank you for providing me the opportunity. So I had the first question is that has C-Card generated any revenue? Has it started to generate any revenue for us?
Okay, so C-Card is our internal tool currently, and so we kind of process close to this year till now we have processed close to around 450 crore rupees worth order in C-Card. But because since it's an internal tool, we don't levy a transaction charge or anything on the C-Card side. Second, since you asked the question about C-Card, the metrics for C-Card is much different, the success metrics than that of Creative. So for us it would be that sooner than later, some point of time, we will have to have it as a separate SBU or a separate subsidiary under Creative to really kind of grow that business, because it's a platform business which is very different to a brick and mortar business. Currently it works as a tool where it increases our efficiencies and reduces our cost.
Okay, so I can assume that we are using the same for cross-selling opportunities, right?
Currently we are using it to cross-sell, yes.
And also what Ketan meant is that since the matrices of success are different, you will need to invest a couple of crores in this business. So right now we feel that our board feels that we would be completing this financial year with good numbers, and then we would be in a position to have those reserves in the next financial year, possibly in the first quarter, to invest in that business for growth. Okay, so right now C-Card is not our focus, but Honeywell has been our focus now.
Okay, so we intend to commercialize the same within the medium-term timeline as such?
Correct.
Yes.
So 2-3 things we'll have to do. First is kind of take an approval from the board that can we invest 10% of our net profit. So for example, if we close this year anywhere around say 35 to 40, can we invest 3.5 to 4 crores to build that business up for customer acquisition? That's one part. Second, you will also require a team which is very different from us to run that business, right? Because it's mainly digital, it's mainly getting people on board there. So at the right time we would have the right team and the right resources to do that. And because it's something where the financial stack is also built in some way, thing where a retailer can in a couple of hours have his own website. It's a great proposition, and whenever we start focusing on that, I'm sure it will start generating its own revenue and profits.
Okay, sir, just a suggestion from my end. We can treat the CCAT as separate entity. We can demerge the same, and the funding that you are stating that Creative will fund the expansion and Creative will fund the growth, the same funding can be from the external investor. So the original shareholder's pocket might not be burnt in such a case.
And that's the thought. And it could, when I said this 10%, it could be that CCAT increases Creative's efficiency by that amount of money and then charges some transaction. But this is also a suggestion which has come that you get the right kind of investor who believes in a platform business, and then you value the business and get that money, and with that money expand. So when you want to do that, then you require a separate team, right, who runs that. It can't be the same team running this, because the founder, you'll require a kind of a CEO kind who runs that business. So point very valid. As we get the right team, then we may look at that option also.
Great. And the next question for me is that you are stating that air purifier will be a good opportunity for us. So just wanted to know that the volume, how much would be online and offline, and is on the basis of the channel or on the basis of the end users too, like corporate versus retail, or on the basis of online versus offline. Is there any margin differential as such?
Two things. I'll first answer your question about the segmentation of the business part of that. So 44% of your air purifier sells B2B. It looks like a consumer product, but 44% of the air purifier goes into offices, hotels, restaurants, large boardrooms. That's how. Nowadays, builders also have started offering air purifier with the flat. So 44% of the business comes through that. Air purifier as a category also another 35% to 36% of that business comes from online. Because the day the pollution is there, people want to buy that product. That's the case. And most of the online are delivering now the next day. So that's the second. And the rest is GT. Though it looks, GT is the consumers who are buying for that. Second, air purifier also has a filter which has a certain life, right? So when an office buys an air purifier, they'll change the filter in the next 6-7 months' time. And when a household will buy an air purifier, they will change the filter in another 14 to 18 months, because they only run the air purifier when they are sleeping in the night or when the whole family is there. They don't run it like in office from morning 8 to evening 8. So once the air purifier sales kick in, the next month or the next year around 20-22% of the sales will come from the filters also of the air purifier. So that's how the matrix is there. Coming to Creative's part, currently our air purifier sale from online is close to 40%. Around 22% is from B2B and rest is from GT. The GT is slightly reluctant about or the general trade or the brick and mortar, because it was a seasonal product till probably last year. But now almost everybody started talking about it. So that also would change after a while.
Great. And since you say that 40% comes from online, actually I've checked the Honeywell's air purifier, and the competitive price, the price for the same is near to $7,000. And as you said earlier, Xiaomi and Philips are the major competitors. They have the price near to $9,000. But how do we intend to compete the same? Because they have quite bit large of a market, if I'm not wrong.
So the best part about online business is that you can really understand what the competition is doing. You can get real data which you can make meaning of it, right? So according to us, the sweet spot for an air purifier is around 12,000 rupees. The air purifier should have two functions in it. One, it should have a Wi-Fi and it should have an AQI and a VOC display, air quality index display and the volatile organic compound display. If you have these two functions, people are ready to pay any price between 12 to 14,000 rupees. Our current price point for this particular product is close to 15,000 rupees. Any product to launch takes around 6 to 7 months time because it has to pass through Honeywell audit, specification, field test, golden sample has to come. We have to check all that. So we are in midst of launching that product also in another couple of months. That will really drive our ASP to the second level. Second, as it becomes a generic household product, then people also want premium in that. So they want a fancy air purifier. They want an air purifier which does not look like an air purifier. They want something which is a higher on a design, right? So then that would be another range which we should look at. So as the market matures, right, it will take the usual turn, right? Today you have a fan which is around 1,200 bucks also, and you have a fan which is around 20,000, 40,000 bucks also, and people in there all are now using fan which are around 3,000, 4,000. For example, we just relaunched our car air purifier, right? People are not going to be home, and in 2 days we sold 500 car air purifiers. The car air purifier is at the cost of just 3,600 bucks to the end consumer. The size is small, it can be mounted on the seat, it could be mounted on the dashboard and you could sell. So you will see a lot of new innovative products keeping on coming in this category.
Okay. Well, just two suggestions from my side. That's all on the part of my questions. So since we are intending to increase the stake in our subsidiary, the suggestion would be that we can increase our stake by funding the same from debt, because we have diluted equity a bit much, and since debt would be quite cheap in comparison to equity. And the second suggestion, or the second, I would say that the management might address the same, is that I guess the company is focusing on increasing the absolute number in terms of profitability and EBITDA. But my particular concern as a shareholder is that when the sales are increasing at a staggering phase of more than 30%, normally we intend to see the operating leverage, where the bottom line increases quite a bit more than the sales figure. But we are increasing the bottom line, but not as fast as top line. Operating leverage ka to sawal hi nahi hai. So I hope management and the board addresses both the issues in their operation. That's all from my side.
Sir, I would just like to add something to you.
Yeah.
As a company, our CFO is very conventional, right? When I said I launched 85 products, right, I would have created 85 DIEs, 85 IPs, right? Certification for each BIS is 1.5 lakh rupees. Certification for a CB is $10,000, which is around 8 lakh rupees, right, for this product. And if you see, we never capitalize any of this stock. We usually expense out all this stock, development cost. So currently, because we are growing faster, we are just concentrating on the fact whether the absolute margin is higher. But we are making also a fair amount of investment in our product development category. And that's why, and because we think that once we reach the scale, we will just flip it and it will have a great impact on the bottom line once we have the categories complete, when we have all the product range and we can go that way. So you will sooner than later see that we will have a good EBITDA, which is also increasing as per our sales. Currently, we are focused on whether we can give ROCE which is better, and our working capital cycle becomes better. That's the case. Once we cross the, say, 2,000 crore top line thing, then we will also start, and by that time everything will start firing. That's the place. Because in the world there are almost 8 plug types. So when I launch an air purifier in Singapore, I have to have the UK plug type, and when I launch it in South Africa, I have to have the European plug type, and when I go to Thailand, they have another standard only, so then I have to have another plug type. So that all is actually kind of driving our expenses, but we are almost there in terms of product launch and other stuff. So I think that you will be happy in the coming 3 to 4 quarters for sure.
And any comments on the new stake financing from debt? As I said, that equity will be costly right now.
Sure. I didn't get your question.
Surely equity is costly.
Yeah.
Okay. So technically, we are now started the process of borrowing in the subsidiary at Hong Kong. So it will be a much cheaper rate of finance. All right. And then that way we would like to grow.
Okay, got it. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sarang Anarjwala, from an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity and congratulations on great set of numbers. So a lot of my questions are answered. Thanks for all the detailed explanation. Just one question. In last quarter, we talked about, expanding Honeywell into more territories in terms of appointing distributors and applying for certifications and also. Just wanted to understand in this quarter what the specific categories, territories where we expanded.
So currently, for the last quarter, we were in Singapore. In UAE, we were in Dubai, Bahrain, Oman, and Qatar. We have already signed up our distributor for Indonesia, for Malaysia, Thailand, and in Middle East, we have now Manpower has joined us, so Saudi Arabia will get signed up this month, and Turkey also will get signed up this month. What happens, Sarang, is that, for example, if I sign up Indonesia, right, the first time the material reaches there only takes 30-35 days. Then they place the product in the store and they get a feedback. So once you sign up the distributor also, you have to give a quarter when the run rate starts happening. So for example, our Singapore run rate till now was close to $80,000. Now it has gone to $150,000 a month. Similarly, Dubai, after Trigon coming in, so Dubai is a very different market. The large format retail, the likes of Chroma, Reliance, there the market 90% is owned by them. So with Trigon coming, Lulu, Carrefour, all will start stocking our products. So once there we also see the sale. And this will also help us to reduce our seasonality. For Indonesia, bad air pollution days are January, February. So, because they also have the crop burning thing there. So I think as we spread to different geographies, it will really help. And currently this is the condition. So first you get the right manpower. The manpower takes around 3 months to understand your company product and then approach a distributor. Once the distributor is signed, it again takes a couple of months before you start getting repeat orders from the distributor. So that's where we are currently.
Got it. Thank you very much. That's all. That's one question. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Naman from India SME Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hi, so this is Siddharth here. Thanks for giving me this opportunity. Just wanted to understand, the mid to long-term strategy, especially on this licensing business, right? So is it going to be a multi-brand, multi-core kind of a strategy? Like, do you foresee that for air purifiers, will you position another brand as well? Or how do you, naturally see the business in the longer term, especially this licensing business?
So, for example, if you see the another 5 years plan, so we talk about say 2029, 2030, and the company would be like it would have two licensing brands. So Honeywell plus somebody like a Philips if they give a license, or somebody like say a Nokia if they give in the relevant category a license. Then a couple of licensing brands, couple of brands which we would have acquired, right? Because you also want to balance, right? Sometimes if there is a problem in a license, that you want to balance that. So couple of your own brands, and then another 3 to 4 brands which gives you a ROCE of around 30% plus. So that's how the company should look like in the coming years. And we are on that path also, that we are in talks with a lot of people, but it takes a bit of time, to around 8 months to a year, to actually get something meaningful going in this category. So,
what strategy? Like, let's say, do we, maybe focus on some products, and under those products we try to identify which are the right brands which will suit into these products, or is it that, we acquire a brand and then think about the product, or how does it typically work out?
Typically, we see the trend, right? The India's demographic today is the population. We had millennials, we have Gen Z, right? Now we have a new term called DINK, double income no kids generation, right? So when you have a population which is kind of double income no kids, or double income and only a pet, then they spend a lot of money on houses, they spend a lot of money on luxury, they spend a lot of money on eating outside and other stuff, traveling, that's the case. And then you keep getting products. So for example, the Rua Audio, it's a 50-year-old brand from US or from UK. And we had the recent launch, the British Embassy also came in at Soho House, Juhu. And the kind of response we got, and the kind of feedback we are receiving for that, we ourselves never believed that people wanted to buy personal audio from 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees. It's not a home theater system, it's a personal audio. But so our focus would always be on products which would be kind of premium, and which would be kind of where you can personalize that experience for them. So that are kind of the products which we are looking at generally.
So for Honeywell, what is the natural extension? Are you emphasizing to enter into some other product categories as well, or do you see you'll expand the current categories or the licenses which you have? So basically, what I'm trying to understand, is there any idea to maybe get into the appliances business with Honeywell, or there are some other categories which you're looking at?
Yeah, so couple of things are there. The Honeywell existing product categories also has too much to do in that space.
Yes.
Second, Honeywell as a category in certain categories has a great brand salience. So when it comes to an enterprise, when it comes to measuring, testing, controlling, air purifier has a great salience in that. The passive networking also has a great salience in that. But as soon as come to say audio, the consumer is not aware that Honeywell would have a personal audio. So that brand category takes a little amount of time. So as Honeywell opens its category, they give us the first right of refusal. So for example, when you say appliances, if we want to start appliances or they want to come here, they will give us. But then again, it's going back and running that.
We have a offer on other, let's say, a right of refusal on the other products as well, is it?
Yes, because Honeywell, their team of licensing is less than 14 people, and they manage around $350 million of revenue under that. And they first need somebody who understands the Honeywell design language system. Then the factory audit should pass, then other stuff, that's the case. So ideally they would want the existing license to do that. If the existing license denies, then they may give it to a new licensee. Average licensee of Honeywell, average, so like newer ones like us and the older ones, the average licensee is around 22 to 23 years with them. That's the space they are. That's the space.
Understood. So which brings me to my next question, right? So how does this agreement typically work, right? So is there exclusivity which we have with Honeywell, or also the kind of royalty agreements we typically have with Honeywell? How does the entire agreement work, and the tenure as well?
Okay, so it's a royalty agreement, and the agreement typically is that you give a minimum guarantee or a certain percentage of the sale, whichever is higher, to Honeywell. And also Honeywell wants you to not just sit on the market, they want you to do certain things for them to do that. Usually the licensing period is 5 years, renewable till perpetuity. If you do 3 things correctly, you pay their minimum guarantee royalty on time. If you get the factories audited very well, and if you get QC done for all the products, then usually that's the case. And that's our contract with Honeywell. Our license, this term of license will get over in December 25. And then probably looking at our association with them, this time we are going to ask for a 15-year period than a 5-year period.
Makes sense. But this for the contract area, typically the rights are exclusive, or it's on a non-exclusive basis?
They are completely exclusive. So currently for audio, we are the only partner in the world who will launch audio for them. For the air purifiers, currently they have a partner for US and Europe, and then they have a partner for India, which is India, Southeast Asia, Middle East, which is us. And they have one more partner in China, because China, the whole world treats separately. So they have a partner there. That's the case.
Okay. And so just one last question. On the royalty you mentioned, how much is the royalty typically we have to pay to, let's say, Honeywell?
So currently in the whole year, I think we'll pay what? 6 crores. Around 6 crores as royalty we will pay this year.
6 crores?
Yeah.
And that would be on a total sale of?
No, there are 3-4 thoughts about it. They have region-wise also, so they don't calculate the whole sale that way. So because we have Southeast Asia, South Asia, Middle East and India, and the categories came in differently. So first they gave us only India and only the electronic essential category. Then way back in 2019 November, they gave us 36 countries and 3 categories. So they have a chart, according to that we'll have to do.
So estimated sales, if we're talking to hit approx 160 to 180 crores, then maybe the royalty will be in the range of 3 to 3.5%.
3.5 to 4%.
Yeah.
Blended basis. So the range would not be more than 3 to 5% if typically the royalty agreement which we would have. And
that is what we are running for in this financial year. Just to add to what Ketan said on your question, you see, Honeywell always gives us more countries or more regions in the same categories what we are successfully doing. Okay, so there could be a possibility of they offering us Europe, or they offering us possibly US. in some of the categories. But right now, we feel that in this financial year, our board also has given us the guidance that we successfully do what we have today, okay, for next 1 year, okay, and then ask for more categories and countries.
Naman, just
one last question on the gross margin side. I believe these are typically high gross margin products, right, which you're doing with Honeywell. Because the personal audio is it's a 30-35% gross margin business. So what is the typical blended gross margin you see for this licensing business for Honeywell especially?
So gross margin should come around 40%, and that's why you take a.
So you were saying that the blended gross margin is lower. The reason behind
portfolio, yes.
Yes, because right now the share of Honeywell, okay, in the total scheme of things, okay, is hardly 10%.
Definitely.
Yeah. Annually, it will be say 160 crores if we hit and we do approximately 1600 crores, then it will be 10%, right? So high gross margin products would be 10% of our total turnover, and rest of the gross margin is in the range of 7 to 8%. So because the blended gross margin would be lower, but this situation will change when the Honeywell size contribution in the business increases from 160 crores and goes year on year, grows and it goes to 500.
Definitely, sir. That I understand. I was trying to understand only Honeywell's products which we were doing, because we were doing multiple products under Honeywell. What would be the gross margin, blended gross margin of just those products? I think I have the answer of 40%, which is a very good number.
And abroad it is around 45 to 50%, because Singapore and that places the cost of sale is slightly higher. So we marked up around 45 to 50% there.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing this. I think very interesting business, and good luck to you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Karthi from Suyash Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Just continuing on the earlier question, just a couple of clarifications. One is in these distribution arrangements outside of India for the licensed business. A, how does the profitability shape up over there? And B, so who decides on pricing for these products in these markets? And D, of course, working capital cycles.
Okay. So 3 questions. The first one is that who decides on the margin is we can decide
on the pricing of the products.
We decide the pricing. So just to answer elaborately, Honeywell in the licensing contract is just concerned about the specification, the quality and the factories where you manufacture the product. They don't want a non-audited factory to manufacture your product because they want all compliances, social and technical compliances to be there. Second is they want cutting edge products, so they want that the specification is up to date and currently what is or better than what is available currently. And third is they want to roll off the product. They do the quality check. That's where the Honeywell role ends. What price to sell, what is the pricing we want to do in each market, that is kind of our prerogative. That's the first one. Okay. Coming to distribution abroad, because we have 4 categories, we come and look at the distributor's profile, and then depending upon the distributor's profile, we start giving them the distribution contract. So, for example, in Middle East today, Trigon, that's the Al-Ghurair group, would be our distributors for the large format retail, the Chromas and Reliance, what we have. They have the Carrefours and Jumbos and all. So that would be there. And Seamal will be for independent retail or the general trade as we call, that would be there. Next gen will be for e-com there. So we have 3 distributors exclusively for 3 different categories there. usually is that you get the right manpower, then you get the right distributor. And before getting the right manpower, you get the right product mix for that market. That's how we approach all the markets.
Right. I was asking you, would the margins be higher than if you were to go independently to distribute over there?
If we go and distribute, that's what you're saying?
Yes.
No, it would not be, because distribution has its own advantages, and because the distributor does 3 to 4 products or 5 products, he is actually the cheapest route to the consumer. So it does not make sense bypassing the distributor at any place.
Yes. So your international margins could be better than domestic margins.
International will definitely, because their buying power, purchase value is higher, right? Today in Singapore, a taxi costs you 30, from airport to the hotel costs you 30 Singapore dollars. And my speaker is at 15-20 Singapore dollars. So usually in India, they want you to reduce the price. Abroad, they want to increase the price. That's the normal discussion when we.
And in terms of working capital cycles, sir, what would the cycle be internationally for the distribution arrangements?
So most cases, couple of things. Abhijit does not allow any open credit. So if the customer gets a credit insurance from, say, a Kofas or a Euler, which are insurance company which insures credit. If they gave a credit, then they get typically 45 days credit on that product, and otherwise they pay TT advance. From placing the order to the factory to getting the goods manufactured is now post-COVID a 45-day cycle, and another 30 days time to reach that place. The 30 plus 45 is 75, and another 45 days credit, I said. So the cycle is 110, and now the factories have been generous, because looking at our track record and the Honeywell brand, they have started giving us a credit of 60 days on the product. So that's why our working capital cycle is now close to 60 days on the Honeywell, but the blended comes to
much lower,
30-31 days because of the distribution business.
Interesting. And your arrangement with the factories, sir, so you would be responsible for sourcing the products manufactured, right? Manufactured and getting the products distributed.
It has to be audited by Honeywell, and every time the consignment leaves the factory, our QC, which is trans, and their QC, which is SGS, would go and check the product and then give a release certificate.
Right. And I was asking you whether you get any credit from your suppliers or you pay them advances as well.
That's what I said. Now the suppliers are generous. They give us a 60-day credit now, most of the suppliers.
Right. And the other question I had was, sir, what is your medium-term thinking on the enterprise business? It bulks up your business, but, the margins are not very interesting. So can you share some thoughts on how you see the enterprise business over, say, the next 3-4 years' time?
So currently, I have been given 2 benchmarks. If we increase our working capital cycle, we better our working capital cycle. And if the net return ROI, if we can increase year on year, then because we are growing at 30-40% currently, we should not bother about the percentage of the profit. That's the 2 benchmarks.
Absolutely. To add this, if we are making absolute money as far as EBITDA is concerned, PAT is concerned, and our return on working capital is improving, return on investment is improving, then even if percentage of profit falls, it is our humble view that we are growing, and therefore these are the signs of growth. Absolute increase in EBITDA, absolute increase in PAT, and my return on investment for these categories. If it is better, then we are okay. That's the mandate we are taking.
That's
Is there a direct synergy between, say, your FMSG business and your enterprise business, sir?
no, on the SMA, because on the enterprise business, the directive is that our money should not get used, or the working capital should not let go. Working capital gets blocked only for 2 to 3 days, I think, max.
Yeah.
So it's a very back-to-back business, and that's why we also measure it very separately. When we have the cash flow and we can do that, that's when we do that business. Also, Suresh, you'll have to understand one more part, right? Today, if I had to just build the Honeywell business from scratch without the distribution, without the EB, my balance sheet would be negative by more than 120 crores. Because to get the team, to get the logistics, today a die of air purifier, the front bezel die only costs $40,000. We have 7 or 8 air purifiers in our category now. We have close to 450 unique products which we have launched. All this have really, that money has come out from the other distribution business we do.
Yeah.
And that has really helped us to not burn any money or go negative.
Yeah. So, any selling business, you have a logistic as the backbone. So, we have 15 branches and 4 very big godowns, okay, located at different strategic points. Now, these are all automated godowns. So, basically, these investments are also are used by Honeywell business. Independently, if Honeywell was to stand, it would have had to invest so much in the infrastructure. That is what Ketan needs.
Sir, one last question if you have the time to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so how close are you to your next licensing agreement?
So it could not be just a licensing agreement, it could be a JV also, or it could be acquisition also, right?
Yeah.
So as a company, my role is to work on the 3-year plan, and we are really working on that, and God willing, if everything goes good, you will hear the news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair. Thanks for answering my questions and very best wishes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Aditya Jhawar from AG Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for follow-up. Sir, I have one very short-term question. So currently, if I see the PAT margins are roughly around, it is a drop of currently it is trading at 2.4%. And we have in next maybe 1 or 2 years to have to go to 4 to 5%. So our H1, then quarter on quarter, there should be a gradual improvement by the year end and by the next year. What are the targets for PAT margins?
Sir, it's very difficult to give guidance quarter on quarter because, we are looking at something which is 3 years from now. Okay. And possibly what Ketan is looking is FY30. Alright. So, quarter on quarter is something which is very difficult to give you guidance. What I'm trying to say that, by
H1 and H2, I'm asking.
by H2 also for that matter, okay, it will improve, okay. But if you ask me a percentage and what basis points, it's difficult for me. One more thing is that by FY26, we are sure that PAT margin will be in the range of 4.5 to 5%, okay, or maybe 6%. But how will it progress quarter on quarter till FY26 is a difficult question to take.
Okay. Sir, on this year we have done roughly 1600. We'll do basically. Hopefully we'll do 1600. Then we should hit the 2000 crore market by next year only, right? If I see the growth, whatever we have been doing. So you are being very conservative that FY25 will not hit?
No, it should hit. That's the case because, see, we were also in the dilemma that percentage, do you manage the percentage or do you manage the absolute profit, right? And then we spoke to our board, and then we spoke to a couple of advisors, and then they said that if you can get absolute margin which is higher, and it's every year you can grow the absolute PAT by say 20-30%, then you should grow that. And with that guidance, 2,000 crores should be next year.
Okay, sir. All the best. I wish you all the best, sir.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Ketan Patel, Chairman and Managing Director, Creative New Tech Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you everyone once again for your participation in our Quarter 2 and H1 FY24 earning calls. In case of any further queries, you may get in touch with Adfactors PR, or feel free to get in touch with us. We look forward to interacting with you next quarter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, members of the management. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Creative New Tech Limited, that concludes this conference. We thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.